Well, good morning. This is your host Betty, and welcome back to my podcast. Today we have the last episodes of the of the layers of me. This is part 3, and if you are a Potterhead, you should definitely stay. Well, so today I'm gonna talk about my house at Hogwarts. I know, yes, I got sorted by the hat. And I was put into a house that it was not the one I was expecting to. Growing up as a Harry Potter fan, we all wanted to be Gryffindors unless you really like Slytherin. But I ended up not being a Gryffindor. I am actually a Ravenclaw. So when I took the test at the Wizarding World, and that did my sorting hat. They do, they ask you some questions about what would you choose, this or that, what would you do, blah, 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 how would you do things. Anyway, so I took the test and I got sorted into Ravenclaw. Ravenclaws are the people with wit, learning, and wisdom. When I got sorted into, first, you probably know that some of the Ravenclaw's most renowned members include Gilderoy Lockhart and Luna Lovegood. But did you know that Ravenclaw's Grey Lady is the least talkative Hogwarts house ghost? That Ravenclaw's most common room boasts the most stunning views of the castle grounds. Well, wit beyond measure. My fellow Ravenclaws are Luna Lovegood and Gilderoy Lockhart. Luna, she's an eccentric Ravenclaw student. She's a member of Dumbledore's army and close friend to Harry Potter. Gilderoy Lockhart, he was a one-time professor for the Defense Against the Dark Arts. He was very proficient in memory charms, of course. He was a 5-time winner of the Witch Weekly's Most Charming Smile Award. And then we have Phileas Flitwick. He is the kindly Howard's Charms professor and the head of the Ravenclaw house. So he's actually the head. When I first got sorted, I got the letter from my prefect saying, "Congratulations, I'm Prefect Robert Hillier, and I'm delighted to welcome you to Ravenclaw House. Our emblem is the eagle, which soars where others cannot climb. Our house colors are blue and bronze, and our common room is found at the top of Ravenclaw Tower, behind a door with an enchanted knocker. The arched windows set into the walls of our circular common room look down at the school grounds, the lake, the Forbidden Forest, the Quidditch pitch, and the Herbology Gardens. No other house in the school has such stunning views." So, without wishing to boast, this is the house where the cleverest witches and wizards live. Our founder, Rowena Ravenclaw, prized learning above all else. And so do we. Unlike the other houses, who all have concealed entrances to their common rooms, we don't need one. The door to our common rooms lies in the top of a tall, winding staircase. It has no handle, but an enchanted bronze knocker in the shape of an eagle. When you rap on the door, this knocker will ask you a question, and if you can answer it correctly, you are allowed in. The simple barrier has kept out everyone but Ravenclaws for nearly 1,000 years. Some first years are scared by having to answer the eagle's questions. But don't worry, Ravenclaws learn quickly, and you'll soon enjoy the challenges the door sets. It's not unusual to find 20 people standing outside of the common room door, all trying to work out the answer to the day's question together. This is a great to meet a fellow Ravenclaw for the other years and to learn from them. Although it's a little bit annoying if you've forgotten your Quidditch robes and need to get in and out in a hurry. In fact, I'd advise you to triple check your bag for everything you need before leaving Ravenclaw Tower. Oh my god. Another cool thing about Ravenclaw is that our people are the most individual. Some might even call them eccentric, but geniuses are often out of step with ordinary folk. Folk. And unlike some other houses, we can mention that we think you've got the right to wear what you like, believe what you want, and say what you feel. We aren't put off by people who march to a different tune. On the contrary, we value them. Speaking of eccentrics, you'll like our head house, Professor Phileas Flitwick. People often underestimate him because he's really tiny. We think he's part elf, but we never been rude enough to ask. And he's got a squeaky voice, but he's the best and most knowledgeable charms master alive in the world today. His office door is always open to any Ravenclaw with a problem. And if you are in a real state, he'll get out of these delicious little cupcakes he keeps in a tin in his desk drawer and make them do a little dance for you. In fact, it's worth pretending that you're in a real state just to see them jib. Ravenclaw House has an illustrious history. Most of the greatest wizarding inventors and innovators were in our house, including Perpetua Fancourt, the inventor of the Lunascope, Laverne de Montmorency, a great pioneer of love potions, and Ignatia Wilsmith, the inventor of Floo powder. Famous Ravenclaw's ministers for magic include Millicent Bagnold, who has the power of the night that Harry Potter survived, who was in power the night that Harry Potter survived the Dark Lord's curse, and defended the wizarding celebrations all over Britain, with the worst I assert our inalienable right to party. There was also Minister Lord Conmaclair, who was quite a brilliant wizard, but preferred to communicate by puffing smoke out at the end of his wand. Well, I did say we produce eccentrics. In fact, we're also the house that gave Wizarding World Uric the oddball, who used a jellyfish for a hat. He's the punchline of a lot of the wizarding jokes. As for a relationship with the three other houses, well, you probably heard about the Slytherins. They're not all bad, but you do well to be on your guard until you know them well. They got a long house tradition of doing whatever it takes to win. So watch out, especially in Quidditch, matches, and exams. The Gryffindors are okay. If I had a criticism, I said the Gryffindors tend to be show-offs. They are also much less tolerant than we are of people who are different. In fact, they've been known to make jokes about Ravenclaws who have developed an interest in levitation, or the possible magical uses of troll boogies, or obomancy, which, as you probably know, is a method of divination using eggs. Gryffindors haven't got our intellectual curiosity, whereas we got no problem if you want to spend the days and night cracking eggs in a corner of the common room and writing down your predictions according to the way the yolks fall. In fact, you'll probably find a few people trying to help you. As for the Hufflepuffs, well, nobody could say they're not nice people. In fact, they're some of the nicest people in the school. Let's just say that you don't need to worry too much about them when it comes to competition at exam time. I think that's nearly everything. And yes, our house ghost is the Great Lady. The rest of the school thinks she never speaks, but she'll talk to Ravenclaws. She's particularly useful if you're lost or if you've mislaid something. I'm sure you have a good night. Our dormitories are in turrets of the main tower, or four posture beds are covered in blue silk either downs, and the sound of the wind whistling around the windows is very relaxing. And once again, well done for becoming a member of the cleverest, quirkiest, and most interesting house at Hogwarts. Or yet in wise old Ravenclaw, if you've read a mind where those of a wit and learning will always find their kind. the Sorting Hat. So, so far, so much, right? So basically, yes, that is everything. And everything was said is true. Once I started learning more about Ravenclaw, like it said, Gryffindors are a little bit more, show-offs. I'm not so much of a show-off. And they are a little bit less, they are not as appreciative as we are of the different people. I mean, you already know I'm into astrology and divination and all those stuff. So definitely I think I am in the right house. So, what else? So now I will tell you the Ravenclaw territory. Basically, traits and values are intelligence. We are characterized by keen intellect and intellectual curiosity. The house values a sharp mind, cleverness, and a passion for acquiring knowledge. Wisdom. Wisdom goes beyond knowledge. Ravenclaws exhibit sound judgment and the ability to apply their intelligence wisely. The house values the thoughtful and prudent use of knowledge for the betterment of oneself and others. Love of learning. Ravenclaws have an inherent love for learning and a desire to explore the mysteries of the world, of course. The pursuit of knowledge is highly cherished, and Ravenclaws often find joy in discovering new things. Also, they are characterized by individuality and uniqueness, recognizing that each person has their own strengths and areas of expertise. The house values that diversity of thought and encourages students to express their individual perspectives. Creativity. While often associated with intelligence, Ravenclaws also exhibit creativity in problem solving and innovative thinking. The house appreciates creative approaches to challenges and values originality. Wit. Well, Ravenclaws are known for their cleverness and their quick-wittedness. The house values humor and the ability to think on one's feet, appreciating those who can engage in witty banter. And lastly, acceptance of eccentricity. They are very accepting of eccentric and unconventional individuals. The house values a diversity of thought and encourages a broad range of interests and perspectives. So basically, we might be a little bit off, a little bit weird, a little bit eccentric, but we're very smart, very wise. I mean, that does make me sound like a Gryffindor now. I'm trying to show off. And fun fact, if you ever wonder, yes, Hermione could have gone into Ravenclaw, but just like Harry, she was more inclined for Gryffindor, which, makes sense. She is a little bit more, she's more of a show-off, obviously, because she just likes to know everything and anything, and she is a little bit more valiant, I would say, than we are. Not that we're chickens or anything, but we're different. So, yeah. If you ever wonder, what your house is, I know there's a lot of tests out there, but I did this one from the Wizarding World. It's wizardingworld.com. And then you go to the Sorting Hat, and you go through the things. I had to create an account just for logging in and whatever. And you can do it, even for children. My daughter did it. I just had to authorize her as a minor so she could take her test. She is a Hufflepuff, so she's a very nice person, and it's just very odd. We all end up in places that we never thought that we would. But it makes sense. I really like Luna, and I feel like I understand her. Gilderoy, I don't know how he's a Ravenclaw. He's a little cuckoo. Well, I guess that's why, right? He's a little cuckoo. But he was being very fake. Anyways. Well, yeah, this was just a little information. I'm sorry for all the mumbling with the words. They're just difficult to pronounce. And I haven't seen them before. But I hope you have enjoyed today my talking about Ravenclaw. I love Harry Potter. I watched all the movies so many times, read all the books so many times. My daughter has read the books so many times. So, this is a Harry Potter house. And I just wanted to give you one more layer of me, which is that I'm a Potterhead. Maybe next time I'll give you, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about my shows, things I like. We'll see. The future is unknown. For now, I'll say bye. And I hope you guys have a good day. Stay, subscribe, follow. And I love you guys. Have a good day. Mwah.